So one of the first things we can do with the dog that we get, we want to start to be able to maneuver their body and have them kind of target our hands so we can start to communicate. You can see he's already starting to look at my hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a treat. I'm going to put it in my fingers like this. I'm going to put it right in front of his nose. And then while he's kind of nibbling on my fingers, I'm just slowly going to take him to my right side. Once he gets to my right side, I'm just going to drop the treat in his mouth. I'll get another treat, put it in front of his nose again. This time, I'm going to my left side. Drop the treat, back to my right. Good. See how I kept losing his focus, and then I just put the treat right back in front of his nose to regain focus. So if the dog isn't following your hand, he either needs to be hungrier or you need to be closer in front of his nose. Sometimes people will take the dog and go too quick. He's still coming to me, but typically that doesn't happen. So you want to make sure that your finger's just right there, moving at his pace. Okay, drop the treat. Now I'm going to go back to my right and then to my left before I give him the treat. So there's right, here's left. See how I lost his focus right there? So I take the treat right back to his nose and then slowly start pulling it again. I'm going to go ahead and give it to him. Okay, so that's the first steps of luring. Just take the dog your right side, then take him to your left side. Good. And then from here, we're going to move on. All right, second step, get the dog in front of you. Now we're going to take our treat and kind of go in an arc over the top of him. We want his head looking up. And then what's going to happen is his head is going to go over his shoulders, and then his butt's going to drop and hit the ground. So I take my treat, boom, butt hits the ground. I deliver the treat. Okay, and then from here, I want to go straight to the ground. So I'm going to put the treat in front of his nose. His butt's on the ground, and now I'm just slowly going to take, ow! He's biting my fingers. So I'm going to slowly take the treat to the ground. Once I see that his two elbows are on the ground, then I'm going to give him the treat. From here, we put the treat in front of his nose again, and then I'm just going to go straight out, kind of up a little bit, and then just out. And then he's going to stand up for me. And then I'll give him the treat. So now we're going to put it all together in one motion. I get him in front of me. Butt hits the ground. I give him the treat. His two elbows hit the ground. Boom, he gets the treat. He stands up, he gets the treat. And we're going to do this like 10 reps in a row where we reward for sitting, laying down, standing. Then, we don't have to reward for the sit. We don't have to reward for the down. We can reward for the stand or have a variable schedule for our reward. Okay? Good boy. I'm going to give him a little break for a second. Looks like he's still focused, so I guess I don't have to take too long of a break. Good boy, Kane. Okay, then what we need to do is take this to the next step. Now I'm going to stand up. I'm going to do the drill. Lay down, stand. Good. And for bigger dogs, they don't have very good hip awareness. So what helps a bigger dog be able to turn is to get them to turn their hips. And we can do that with luring. So we can lure him this way, and then basically just lure in a circle, and then give him a treat. And then we can do a circle the other way, and give him a treat. And this is really going to help teach the dog how to move that back end, instead of just running into things all the time. Left, reward. Right, reward. And once the dog gets better, we don't have to be so strategic or specific with the treat right in front of him. Then we can probably just flick our wrist like that. And to the right. Good boy. Okay, he's doing a good job. Now we can start to move on to having him get on objects. So I'll put the treat in front of his nose, and then I'll lure him as he walks on top of the dog cot. You can see some hesitation, his back legs aren't getting up. Let me see if he does that again. Okay, I can just push his butt with my finger, just encouraging him to get up. And I'm not going to give him the treat until all 4 paws are on. However, if he just puts one paw on and then becomes fearful and pulls back, then the next time I lure him and he only puts that one paw on, I need to reward that. And then he puts a second paw on and I can reward that. And then the third paw, I can reward that. And we can take baby steps. But because Kane is showing me he's getting, he has that good movement towards the dog cot, I didn't want to reward until he had all 4 paws on because I know he's capable of doing that. Okay. The other thing is you want to go at the dog cot from different angles and different sides. So this time I'll come this way. Good boy. We can use all of our techniques to get him to sit, lay down, and stand. Good boy. You're doing so good. All right. After that, you want to start to add a cue to all the commands. So about once you get to 300 reps of having him come towards you, 300 reps of his butt hitting the ground, his elbows hitting the ground, or him walking to place, then you can start to add that cue. So when we add the cue, we don't want to add the cue as soon as his butt hits the ground. We actually want to add the cue as he's sitting. So he's in the process of moving into the seated position. We want to name the movement, name the action. So I'm going to get him to come, and then once his butt starts to head towards the ground, then I'm going to add the cue. So it's like, sit. I'll get him to where we can see. Sit. Down. Stand. Sit. Down. Stand. Just like that. We'll go to place. Place. And then from place, I like to do place and come. So then I'm going to take a step back, come, and take a step forward. Place. For place, I typically like, whenever you can tell that the dog is fully committed to moving to place, you can drop the command. Place. Okay, then take a step back, come. Boy. Place. Come. Good. Good boy. At the end of the lesson, you want to keep them short, like 5 to 15 minutes long, and then you want to make sure that the dog is having fun. So typically at the end of the lessons, I'll love on the dog, I'll play with the dog, I'll get some toys out. Okay, so he's not that interested in toys, but he's interested in being pet. So I'll go ahead and love on him, and then we'll call it for the day. I would do these lessons at night, right before bed, 5 to 15 minutes, and then do the walk in the morning. All right, another step that we're gonna add is eye contact. We have 4 drills to get through. The first one is super simple. After luring, the dog should be really charged on focusing on our hand. So we're just going to take the treat, put it, touch the dog's nose, touch our nose, and then once the treat touches our nose, then we're going to say the dog's name. So his nose, my nose, say his name, Kane. He's looking at me, so then I just put the treat straight in his mouth. You see how he's kind of snapping at me? His mouth is moving towards my hand. He's kind of taking the treat pretty harshly. So then we're going to go back to the treat drill, because I don't want to do this the whole time and him just snap my fingers. So I'm going to hold the treat in my hand, pinch it, kind of make an arrowhead with my index and thumb, And these three fingers are going to be out. And all I'm going to do is do the next drill. Cane. And now I'm going to put my hand down his throat, back out. Treat still in my hand. Down his throat, back out. And look how gentle he starts to take it. Okay, so now we can continue. But I'll keep that drill, or I'll keep that in mind the whole time. So, cane. Good. If he takes it hard, I'm going to go down his throat with a treat and then back out. So I'll do this about 10 times. Cane. And then I'll move on to the next one. Cane. Good. Good. Okay. Let's see. And so the next one, we're going to go behind our head. So his nose, my nose, behind my head, cane, over my head, into his mouth. Cane. Just like that. Cane. Okay. And then after we get that, then we're going to hold it to his nose. We can hit our nose. We're going to hold it out to the right. Then say the name. Cane. Yes. When he looks at us, we're going to say the yes word and then drop that treat in his mouth. Cane. Wait for the eye contact. He's doing spins. He's trying to figure out how to get that treat. He doesn't really understand. Okay, so he's pretty lost, so I'm just going to restart. Cane. Yes. Okay, he's doing the spins. He's trying to figure out. When the dog is a little confused like this, it helps to be on your knees. Get closer to the dog. Now, your dog can't be aggressive or be afraid of human proximity for this part. So if the dog is, don't do this. But if you trust that your dog's not going to bite your face, then this is a great way to help them understand. So what I can do is hold it to his nose, my nose, out to the right, say his name, Cane, and then I can lean my face in, and once he gets close to my face, you see how his nose was pointed towards me? That's the time I'm going to say yes and reward. So it's going to be like, Cane. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay, I'll get him in a sit. Cane. Yes. Good boy. All right. What I think I need to do is put a leash on him. Then I can keep his focus. I can keep him from at least walking to the right. Okay. So we're going to put the leash on, and then I'm going to put the leash under my knee. Okay. Let's do it again, brother. Cane. Yes. Good boy. This is kind of a weird way of doing eye contact drill, but you just want to take what the dogs give you at first. Cane. Yes. Good boy. Cane. Yes. Good boy. So those are three drills to do. The other one that's going to help is just kind of a freestyle drill. We're just going to mark every time he looks us in the eye, and then we're going to say yes. So that's what I'm going to do now. Every time he looks me in the eye, I'm just going to say yes, and then give him a treat. Okay, so he's settling. He's trying to figure out how to get the treat. I just changed the drill on him. I can show him what he's working for by luring him in front of my body and then just holding the treat here and then pulling the treat away. Yes. Cane. Yes. It helps to whistle, click your teeth, call his name, Do anything that can get the dog to look you in the eye and then reward it. Yes. And then once they start to look you in the eye more, yes, like what he's doing now, then you want to stop saying his name, stop clicking your teeth as much. Yes. But you just want to help give him a hint to start it up. Yes. 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 After he's looking you in the eyes often, then we can begin to hold the eye contact. Yes. So right now, every time he looks at me, I'm saying yes immediately, then delivering the treat. But what I want to move on to is after he looks at me and holds eye contact, yes, for 3 seconds. Then I'm going to say yes and give him the treat. So now we have 3-second duration of eye contact before you get the treat. Yes. Okay, you can see he's looking at me and looking away. So anytime that happens, anytime we get worse, we start to go backwards. We need to make it easier. So now I'm going to go down to just 1 second. Yes. 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 Good. Just like that.